Anything. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's why I didn't push it too.
Yeah, I'm like, it's whatever. I guess I'm just gonna start. I'm
Yeah,
wondering
yeah.
if any. Well, Hypernova said he was gonna play
Oh,
it.
Bernala. Nah,
Or
nice, nice, nice. I think Sonny too. I don't know if I should like tell him
because
Sonny.
like I'll talk to people who aren't gonna play the deck, but
True.
um, well, let's see. Oh, he pinged it because I tried pinging it. It was supposed to at everyone. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
It was supposed to. Oh, okay. Okay, so it did work. All right. Um. Yeah, the easiest way for me to convince you to switch decks is that this deck's actually like playable. Like I think this deck's like really playable. Um. I don't know if I think this deck's better than the Orcus deck. And most people are like really hype on the Orcus deck, and I think this is the best deck out of the Battles of Legend, unbiased. Um. Like I feel like the Orcus deck just like it doesn't have enough like starters. It feels like um, you have to go down the line of like Foolish Burial Goods, and it's like not very, it's not very good. But yeah, I guess we'll go through the variants. Thank y'all for joining. Um, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think this deck's gonna be tier 1. I think it might be tier 2 to high tier 3. Cause like, let's see. I don't know. Is it sharing? Is it sharing my screen? So I'd have to. I was gonna make like a quick tier list. I mean, tier 1 are the Malice, Mitsu, um, Ryziel. Then I think tier. I think that's like tier 1. Tier 2 is like, um, tier 2 is probably like, probably Vanquish Soul. Might be the third best deck. Pure Mitsu, Fiendsmith Ryziel, Fiendsmith
Yeah, that's true.
Mitsu. Yeah. So like, I think. Oh, also you got to let me know if my mic cuts out because it was doing that the other day.
Yeah.
I think this deck is underneath those. Like I don't like Mermail. Trying to think what else is Mermail might not be better than this deck. I don't know. Mermail's just better going second than this deck is, but like Mermail got kind of hurt going first a little bit, but um, I guess yeah. But like okay, it's like the coolest thing about this deck is the fact that like there's so much stuff you can do with it. Like nothing here locks you except for Quartz effect to set Brilliant Fusion, um, which you like, and that's only going second really. Like everything else doesn't lock you. I mean, Gymnite Master Diamond Dispersion's effect to summon 3 does lock you, but I mean you always do that last. Like none of the Gymnite specific stuff actually locks you. So there are literally the variants that I was trying was Fiendsmith, of course. I think is probably the best. Um, you can Protos lock with the Fiendsmith stuff. You can Protos lock without the Fiendsmith stuff. You can Colossus. A lot of fun stuff. Very, very fun stuff. You can play it pure, but I think it's the weakest version. Um, let's see what else. You can search Fossil Dino or the Barrier Statue, and then you can normal summon it um, after. Like you can like Seraphonite at during the like if you don't use Seraphonite's effect, when you summon it back off of Master Time Dispersion, last action you can normal summon one of the like a statue or a fossil dino. Someone is trying to join. Uh, they should just be able to click stage and then enter. I don't think. Uh, I don't think that there shouldn't be any kind of lock. Like they should just be able to join. I don't know what this was. Oh, this was if they destroyed Fiendsmith, which I've also preparing for. This is like what I was testing this morning. The Millennium version is like, to me, is probably the second best. I think this version has a lot of promise. Mitsu's really cool because like both engines bridge into each other. Like if you start with a gym starter, you can make King of the Feral Imps to get into the Mitsu stuff, and vice versa. If you start with the Mitsu stuff, you can make Gallic Granite to get back into the gym stuff. Like they kind of bridge into each other. The reason why I don't think this version's the best is its low amount of non-engine compared to the other versions. I think Fiendsmith's probably the best. I'm like the fact that all of these cards are starters and these are extenders makes it so that like it's so fluid the way it plays as well. The end board's really good. The Fiendsmith stuff gives really good follow-up as well, because the Gym Knight stuff, the follow-up's not bad. Like, once you set up Master Diamond Dispersion, you use the effect, and then they kill one of the... Because it's hard to kill the fusions by a card effect, because the Lady Rose Diamond protects them once. Then if you kill them by battle, the Diamond Dispersion comes back. So it's really sticky and like really difficult to deal with. That's your grind game with the Gym Knight stuff. If you played a second Phantom Quartz, it would help your grind game even more. But if you play a second Phantom Quartz, you almost want to play a second big fusion to kind of recycle your stuff back. But with the Fiendsmith stuff, it's really difficult to fit everything in the extra deck. That's probably the biggest con of the Fiendsmith stuff, is the fact how tight the extra deck is, to the point where you're playing a 16 card extra deck. You're gonna play, I don't think any single one of these cards is optional. Like, I think this is the extra deck. If you're playing Fiendsmith, I don't think you can change a single card here. And then what you decide to do is you play a 16th card. So for me, it's either Chaos Angel or Agnum Day, depending on the format. And whenever you go second, you just swap between these. I don't find Caesar's amazing going second. Of course, it depends on the format, but really, I'm not really making Caesar too often going second, because we're playing the Desiree. I just don't find it super necessary. Yeah, so the extra deck's so tight. Like you literally can't cut or change anything. Which there's certain cards you kind of want to play, like a second Phantom Quartz, a Baguska. You can't even play Protos really, because if you play Protos, you can't fit the Infernal Flame Banshee. So you have to pick between Caesar and Infernal Flame Banshee, and Caesar is kind of the best thing that you can do when you get drolled. Like, for example, if you start with Armadillo, grab Hollow Core, and they droll you there, and you can still end on a Caesar backed up with non-engine because we're playing 19. Yes, Fua and Perulia would be dead, but you still have these 12 to help back up your plays. It can be really difficult to break Caesar plus a couple non-engine backing it up. And then the Fiendsmith stuff, because they're Fiendsmith cards, lets you have a better grind game than a lot of other decks that aren't playing the Fiendsmith stuff. So then you can just do it all over again the next turn. You can go into the Necroquip, into the sequence, into the sprint play to dump Crystal Rose. Yes, I'm gonna probably touch on so like the vanilla Gym Knight, some people play it. I have no idea. Like, I know why people play it, but I think it's just not good to play a vanilla Gym Knight. Most of the time, you'd probably play. I guess with my version, you would probably play Tourmaline, because he's the Thunder. But I just don't like. And the reason why you would do that in the first place, because some people might not be familiar with it, is Hollow Core dumps a vanilla Gym Knight or Gym Knight Fusion. You're generally just gonna dump Gym Knight Fusion. you basically dump your polymerization for cost, and you can once per turn grab it back from the graveyard, which is super helpful for playing around hand traps by solidifying a fusion early before you use Dispersion's fusion effect. You get to protect. Your Dispersion fusion effect, which is sort of like a fusion destiny. If you have this in the graveyard, but you can summon like a Prismora early or a Lady Rose Diamond early, and then you can activate Dispersion so that you have the Hollow Core negate live, because Hollow Core is a negate. If you control a Gymnite fusion monster, you can banish 3 from your grave and then negate a card or effect. So the reason I'm not playing Brilliant Rose is it's not a terrible starter, and honestly, it's like the fact that it's always treated as a Gymnite card makes it one of the few Gymnite like monsters you can search that continue your plays after. But the fact that it requires you to discard a Gymnite card to get going, I just didn't really find the reason to play this as an extender. If you could also summon it from the graveyard, I think it'd be good, but it only summons from the hand. Crystal Rose is the bridge. Crystal Rose is the main reason why all of these decks feel so fluid. I mean, all these engines feel so fluid with it, because Sprint can dump Rose as long as the engine that you're deciding to play has a way to summon a fusion monster really easily and put it in the graveyard. So for the example for Fiendsmith, it's Necroquip Princess. You summon Necroquip when you go through these lines, and you banish it, and then you link it away for sequence into Desiree. You can either normal summon something and then link into Sprint, or you can actually link away the Desiree and the sequence into Sprint, and you can actually get the Desiree back later with a Bow Accuse effect, which you'll do quite often in some of the lines. You'll basically do your whole thing, and then before you end the main phase, you're gonna summon back Desiree with the a Bow Accuse. So that's some really good synergy there. Crystal Rose is kind of like the main thing that makes all of these engines work super well. And one super important thing to note about Crystal Rose is the dumping a fusion monster from the extra deck or from the main deck. Dumping from the... This is only does from the deck, I'm sorry. Or hand is not once per turn. So if you start off as your normal summon and you go effect and they stop it, basically what you can do is you can do your whole play, and then you can do the same line. You can and summon it back with Necroquip by banishing Necroquip off its own effect, and then you can do it again. So it's a really nice way to bait hand traps. Assuming that you draw one of the extenders at that point, which is Tract or Engraver, since you use your normal summon. Lurie or Lacrima as your normal summon is full combo. So even though these are engine requirements, they're sort of bricks, because you have a lot of normal summons in this variant with the Fiendsmith stuff, but you can still completely full combo with just one of these, which is really neat, that your engine requirements, instead of them bricking, you can still full combo with them. So technically this deck has like 19 starters, because I would count these, but they're also double as engine requirements where you can't cut them, even though they use your normal summon. That's one of the main reasons why I play 2 Neparim. And I think for most variants, I think 2 Neparim is the right number, and the main reason why is that you never want to start with Neparim. Neparim is going to be your... Neparim's your extender. So no matter what way you're going through your lines, you're going to Dispersion dump Neppy to summon back Neppy. You're gonna Crystal Rose dump Neppy to summon back Neppy. You're gonna Sprint for Crystal Rose dump Neppy. Like, no matter what, Neparim is like... Oh, did it cut out for me? Fuck. Thank you for letting me know. Hello, hello. Okay. Cool. All right. You guys, yeah, thank you for letting me know, because I've been having this problem where my audio cuts out and I have not found a solution on it yet. Let's see. I think the last thing, I'm not sure what we caught, but the main reason why you're playing Neperim at 2 is that you really don't want to start with Neperim. You can. It's full combo if you do start with Neperim, but I can show some replay. I can show some replays for sure. So Neperim, you don't never want to start with it because it's your extender. And let's say we normal summon Nepi and they imperm it, or ash it, either way, and we summon one later, we don't get to search again because it's hard once per turn. So you really don't ever want to start Nepi, but you can start Nepi. Nepi's still full combo. But it's like one of the worst into hand traps. Anytime you draw Brilliant Fusion, I mean, this card is so broken. If you draw this going first, you should win. Like, straight up. Like, Brilliant Fusion plays around Droll. It plays around Nib. It plays around, everything. Brilliant Fusion is so broken. This is the one engine requirement that Gem Knight requires in the main deck. This is how you summon Hollow Core. Hollow Core dumps for this for cost. You basically keep grabbing it back. When you draw this card, it sucks, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. You're just going to do kind of a weird play where you're going to, like, fuse from your hand. You're going to go, like, -3, but because, like, you have to fuse, and then you probably fuse away some of the names, but you can still play even when you draw Fusion. You can also dump Fusion from your hand with Neperim's effect. Yeah, there's ways to get out of your hand, but it's not the worst Garnet in the world, which is ironic, the fact that this deck is the one that started the term Garnet. Dispersion, this is one of the best design spells ever. It's a fusion spell, but it's also a starter. A lot of fusion spells have the problem, of course, is them being... Am I good?
No, it's okay.
Okay, good. Okay. Dispersion's so good because, like, it fixes the problem with a lot of fusion spells, like, you know, like Poly, like Gem Knight Fusion, etc. That, like, you have... They're conditional extenders that don't do anything on their own, but Dispersion's also a searcher for a gym monster. And it being a Gem Knight card fixes the synergy between the Gem Knights and the Gym monsters, because a lot of the cards don't actually, like, use Gym monsters except for Diamond Dispersion and Lady Brilliant Diamond. Most of them take Gem Knight monsters, or this searches a Gem Knight card. This searches a Gem Knight monster. So it also fixes the synergy between that, because Nepi can grab Gem Knight Dispersion, and Dispersion can grab Armadillo, and that you can kind of bridge that way. You can play 2 to 3 tracked. It's really up to you. I'm just playing 2 to play the lowest deck count that I possibly can right now. I think 3 is totally fine, and because I want to draw Gem Armadillo like every game, this card is literally Snake Eye Ash. It's crazy. This card is so broken, and the card came out in, like, 2011. Like, this card is so busted. It's like Stratos, obviously, but it's... What this card does versus what Stratos does is like night and day. Like, this card is so good, and it's not hard. It's not hard once per turn like Stratos, which is a huge deal. The fact that, like, you can use it multiple times. Foolish is for Nepi, but Foolish can also be for Engraver. This can come up in some hands, and then it's like, right, Stratos isn't hard once per turn, right? Like that's the main. But what Stratos gets you is not like 7 interruptions like how Armadillo gets you there. It's like that was my main point about it. It's different, but yes, they're very similar cards. biggest reason why this deck is better than a lot of other decks is this deck plays Blue Eyes level of this deck plays Blue Eyes level of non-engine, and like Blue Eyes plays a very low to the ground kind of game where Gym Knight doesn't. Gym Knight plays like a crazy blow open going second. This deck's great because Quartz can grab Brilliant Fusion, which can be a blowout. Prismora plus Lady Rose. So Lady Rose Diamond, Prismora plus Seraphonite. And then you so like you Brilliant Fusion for Diamond Dispersion, of course. Diamond Dispersion will summon one, 2, 3, and then you can, if you use Quartz as one of the materials, you can grab back Neppy, and you can get an additional normal summon with Seraphonite for Neppy, and that's game on board. Prismora can clear a card with Gym Knight Fusion. You have a negate setup, so if they try to negate anything, all your stuff gets a boost by 1,000, which is like Omega game. So like it's really like interesting like how well this deck can play going second, especially compared to like stuff like Blue Eyes, right? So it plays Blue Eyes level of non-engine, but it's way more explosive than Blue Eyes, which is why I think this deck is so good. It plays 19 non-engine and does a lot with one card, very akin to Snake Eyes. Like I would say the biggest comparison for this deck, playstyle wise, is probably Snake Eyes. It's very, very similar, but it's also when you play against it, it feels like playing against Snake Eyes. So sorry for those who are listening who aren't going to be playing this deck but are trying to figure out how to play against this deck. It is not fun because realistically, I think if I sat across from this deck, obviously if you draw one non-engine, you're just gonna have to do it on the first thing they activate and hope that it stops them. Luckily, all the Charmies are good against this deck. Fua, Perulia are both good. Meows is not great. It's like fine, but you get 2 draws from Neppy and Engraver, and sometimes you don't even have to use Neppy's graveyard effect, but you will be giving them 2 draws under that. Perulia just destroys this deck. Depending on your open, you normal summon a bunch of times, so you give them like 2 to 3 draws. Not great. And Fua obviously destroys this deck too. So there are counters to this deck, but it becomes very much like it is against like Malice, for example, or against Mitsu right now, where it feels like if you don't draw one of these, this deck fits right into that slot of if you don't draw one of these 9, it's not very fun to play against because this deck can really eat through the low impact non-engine very well. Obviously, a lot of your 1-card combos lose to 1 hand trap, besides Nibiru, that's healthy. That's a well-designed deck. Like, if I normal summon Armadillo and they impermanent, and I don't have another way to push, I'm passing. But that's a well-designed deck. When your 1-card combos start to play through a hand trap, through 1 hand trap, that's when they start becoming less, like really unhealthy. For example, if you draw Ash against Malice. So this deck is healthier in that regard, but it's not very fun to play against. For example, I normal summon Armadillo, they imperm it, and I punish with Engraver, you're getting full comboed, and you can't really win through that. But yeah, kind of went on a tangent right there, but again, this deck plays 19 non-engine. So under Fua or Perulia, so under Fua, your goal is to win the minigame. So Ash, Droll, Call By. I'm probably also going to side cross out because it's an Omega Wombo combo deck. And you really just want to play through those cards. So I'm going to play the 1 good card of cross out to the 2 bad card ratio of Perulia and Fua, just because when this deck makes its board, it wins. I think it's worth it to play the cross out in a deck that if you make your board, you win. So I think cross out's fine. Really what you're going to be doing is you're going to be drolling yourself. Yes, there will be a VOD. Under Fua, you can droll yourself, and then which is why maining droll is so good. And you can end on Caesar, and you're gonna do the same thing I was talking about earlier, where you hope to back up your Caesar with other non-engine. Perulia is the same thing. You can after you do your first couple searches, you can safely droll yourself, and you can just do Fiendsmith stuff. Sort of the same deal, because like this deck just summons a bunch of link mon, like the end boards are like a lot of generic stuff. And I know some people don't like that about this deck. They wish it ended on more Gym Knight cards, but they didn't really give us a Gym Knight boss monster, so I don't know what they really expected. The only way this deck is going to be competitively viable is if it abuses whatever sub-engine you want to play. Speaking of sub-engines, I remember that Hypernova asked about the I'm blanking Azamina package. I have not tried that because I don't see the synergy as much. You can still fusion summon, obviously, so you have a fusion monster engrave. I haven't tested it enough really to say whether or not the Azamina package is good. I'm just not sure. I would rather more non-engine, and if you play Azamina, it probably cuts into the non-engine because you still want to play the Fiendsmith stuff, but you definitely still could play it. There's a chance. There's definitely a chance you could play it, but yeah. Let's see. And I kind of went over the extra deck. Everything is very set in stone. So I think this is the best variant of this deck. So what I have is I made a spreadsheet. It's free. I'll post a link. And I'll post a link here. But I think this is the easiest way to like put all of your combos in. Like you can make replays or whatever like on other simulators, but I just find Dueling Book to be the best. So let's see, because I remember someone asked about what you can do. So if you open a Fiendsmith card, how is it? It's literally the same board as it's the exact same board as a Gym Knight starter. Like it's all the same. Every single one of these combos do use a discard. I don't put that here because I think it's kind of dumb to. I mean, it one engraver is the full the full board. Thank you. Or Tract, or Lurie, or Lacrima. Any of those cards is the full board. I lost my train of thought. And whatever. So any of these combos, they're called one-card combos, but you do have to discard a card. All of these, you have to discard a card for Nepi's effect. I just don't include that in here because, like, I think you're always going to have a card to discard. These are turn one spreadsheet combos. Like, this isn't, like, obviously super representative of a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you're going to be playing, like, through interruption. But, yeah, so, and this one I just started with Tract because Tract is quote-unquote worse. It's the same thing, but you don't get to leave an engrave for follow-up. But you still put your Moon back. You can link it to Moon. You can do the same thing. I'm going to fast-forward it, so this is pretty much Fiendsmith stuff. Do this. Put back the Lurie. And then you make Necroquip. Very important for this line. Sequence. Put the 3 Fiendsmith cards back. Leave the Necroquip engrave, of course. Not even fusion material. Then you make Sprend. Sprend, dump Crystal Rose. Summon Crystal Rose. Dump Nepi with Crystal Rose effect. Summon by pitching a card. Grab Dispersion. Dispersion is going to add a gym card. Nepi is broken, has 3 good effects. You're going to normal gym Armadillo. Grab Hollow Core, dump Hollow Core. Fusion for cost, summon Hollow Core. Make the Link Monsters card is also broken because this card was made at a time when what's that pack called? The Link Vrains pack in the OCG. Every card from that pack is broken, and this was one of those cards. You're going to Dispersion, dumping the Quartz into Hollow Core. For this line, you don't need to do the Seraphonite. You're not actually going to like need to normal summon anything else. You have plenty of bodies already, and you need to clear this Sprint because Sprint can't be used as link material to turn its summon. But luckily, Gym Knight has an amazing synergy with this. So you're gonna Quartz, add back a Gym Knight monster. Then you're gonna Gym Knight Fusion, add back itself. Then you can fuse these two into Prismora because Prismora takes a Thunder type monster. Now you can link those away. IP. You can put your banished monsters back. That's a quick tip Replay's going too fast. But quick tip is keep adding back Gem Knight Fusion before you use Phantom Quartz effect, because Phantom Quartz can recycle from the Banished. So you're going to fuse off, make Moon and Phantom Quartz up into a bow. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You can summon back the Desiree with a bow. You can banish that out, and then you can equip here. Then you can add back the Gem Knight Fusion. Because, like, it's really cool because a bow is, like, a really good card, but, like, a lot of decks can't abuse it super well because discarding a card for every time you use her effect is, like, not great for card economy. But this deck just has a free discard hat. This is like the Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. Like, you just keep adding it back and keep discarding it. Summon out the 3 fusions, and then boom. Let's see.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's see. Yeah, so that's one of the Fiendsmith cards. So the bridge is Sprint into Crystal Rose, and having a fusion monster engraved means you can do full gem combo. So that's kind of what you're looking for when you're looking for sub engines. What does that? Is the main thing for you to find, and there's really not that many, but Fiendsmith is just one of the most obvious synergies there. So for the hand that you posted, which is Brilliant, Crystal Rose, Dispersion, Fua, Nepi, when you open Brilliant Fusion plus a any Gem Knight card, you literally you play through like literally everything. So you obviously start Brilliant Fusion. Yeah, you just start Brilliant Fusion. I can't think of a scenario unless you're staring down Detonator that you don't, no matter what, when you see Brilliant Fusion, you activate it. Because you dump three good cards now, because before you weren't dumping amazing cards. You dump Hollow Core, Nepi, and sometimes you dump Quartz. You can go Quartz to grab back the Hollow Core. I mean, like, it just depends. When you dump if you draw a Gem Knight card and you discard the Gem Knight card, you make Hollow Core live immediately. So yes, I would start Brilliant. If Brilliant gets stopped, I would normal summon the Crystal. Like, let's say they Ash or Impulse the Brilliant, right? I'd normal summon Crystal because Crystal's not once per turn. Also, again, leaving your Nepi effect as the last thing you do is the most important thing in this deck. Nepi is the kind of the bottleneck. Sometimes if it gets impermed, it doesn't matter. I think you should always save Nepi for the last thing, because everything this deck does is try to get Nepi engraved and get Nepi to resolve. It's not quite as bad of a bottleneck. Like, if you normal summon Nepi, it gets impermed, and then your punish is engraver or tracked. That's still fine. You're still ending on that's not the full board, but that should be you should still probably win that game. It's not the end of the world. That's kind of the point. You want to save Nepi for as long as possible. You can normal Nepi, for example. Normal the Crystal Rose. Let's say that gets stopped there. You can go. You can hard fusion with the what's it called? You can hard fusion with the Crystal Rose and the Nepi with the dispersion instead of using from the deck, and then you can go Nepi effect by pitching the Fua. You have options there for sure, even if both those plays get stopped. Yeah. So, really, I guess the other thing I can show just so for people that not always, because if you open Nepi, if you open any one card starter as your only play, that's kind of how modern Yu-Gi-Oh is, you know? Like, you activate it, you hope. The best part about any of the one card combos in this deck, besides any of the Gem Knight one card combos, is they play through Nib. Like, if your opponent only has Nib, it doesn't matter. There's not a good spot to Nib because you have Hollow Core live at that point. I guess I'll show a basic one card combo. This is the best one card combo. This is Gem Armadillo any discard. The best part about starting with Gem Armadillo is the fact that if you get Drolled there, you can still make Caesar very easily. So yep, 2 Gem monsters up into the broken card. I'm just gonna kind of let it play. It kind of speaks for itself, and you know, if I miss something, then like it's still there's a replay on the spreadsheet, so like you're able to. Yeah, I'll show that. I'll show the Millennium stuff after, because like the Fiendsmith stuff's probably the best variant, but I think it's very straightforward. But I'm like almost considering playing the. I really might play the Millennium version over it. I'm not sure, but like the Millennium version's like really good. The problem is it also loses to Droll, so I guess we'll yeah, honestly, fuck it. Let's go to well, I guess the other things you can do is you can do Math Mech stuff. You can do I think I went into that. You could do the Math Mech combo. I haven't got a replay for this, but really what this deck does is you get to a point in the combo where like basically yeah, we'll save, sure. Basically what the Gem Knight stuff does is very conceptually you get this palette. Sometimes you normal a quartz here, sometimes you and when you play the deck a lot, you'll kind of see that. You'll see it, but this is your palette. You have 3 level 4 monsters. You could fucking Shockmaster if that shit was legal. You can do like whatever you, and you're not locked here. You can do whatever you want. Oh, and you have a negate live. So like this is generally what your setup looks like, is this through like any of the gym starters. So after that, you can do whatever you want with this. Then you're gonna eventually obviously make this by shuffling these back and stuff. So you need to not link away the Phantom Quartz quite yet, but like that's kind of the point. Any rank 4 you want to make, you can make here. Generally the rank 4s that plus are the best. So like one thing that I've seen a lot of like Mitsu does this a lot. They make Gallic Granite search Nib. The problem with doing it in this deck is the fact that like you still could, because you could just play, because like it's still fine in this variant, especially because you have a Bow coming back, you have SP coming back, and you have the Fiendsmith stuff, obviously. But you lose your Gem Knight stuff once you lose the fusion monsters in the way that I had the deck built. You can't really get them back very well. You can like Dispersion, add 1 back, but like it's really difficult to get to it that way. So like obviously, like if you went Gallic Granite here, to search Nib to have an extra interaction, you can definitely do that, but you just have to realize that you're probably not going to have your Gem Knight stuff for the grind game, but that's definitely another option. The problem is the extra deck is so tight for the Fiendsmith stuff. So I don't really know. I mean, I can answer some questions. It's pretty much the Fiendsmith stuff I find is the most straightforward version. Like super straightforward. It makes sense why they have synergy with each other. It plays a lot of non-engine. There's 1 quote-unquote brick. There's plenty of starters. I mean, it's a very straightforward build, and that's why, obviously, it has been the one that is the most... like, if you look up Gem Knight, it's all Fiendsmith stuff, basically. So, I can answer some questions about the Fiendsmith stuff. If any, like, you know, if anyone has questions about that, and then I'll probably move to the variant that I've been messing around with this morning, especially. Like, I was doing all kind of crazy stuff with the Millennium cards. The Millennium cards are so cool. The main thing is like the fact that the Fiendsmith stuff, it's, to me, I think it is completely balanced now. I think that we've reached a level where like Fiendsmith cards are like fine for the game. It's like, I wouldn't say they're 100% power crept, but I don't think they need to hit these cards. That doesn't mean that Konami won't hit these cards. So I definitely want to have a backup option. And this backup option, after messing around with it a good bit, could almost be better than this deck. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a lot of testing. I'm gonna do some more testing with this variant, especially after the stuff that like I figured out this morning. But yeah, if nobody has any questions about any of the ratios here, Fiendsmith wise or Gym Knight wise, I'll probably move on to the next variant because there's I won't get too in depth about all of them, but what do you say?
No, I mean Riser too. I mean, probably.
Oh, Ryziel. I forgot about Ryziel. You said Ryziel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally forgot about Ryziel. Ryziel's kind of quick too.
Okay.
So we'll do Ryziel real quick. Ryziel is there's two versions of Ryziel that I have built right here. The thing with the Ryziel variant, what happens a lot of times when people put Ryziel cards in their deck is those end up being the best cards. So you end up just playing more. Like, I mean, there's two versions of the Ryziel deck here that I have. I have the, this is one that I think is probably going to be better. I'm not going to say it's cringe, but it's like less interesting to me because of the amount of Ryziel cards that are in here. So basically what I was talking about earlier with you have your palette, you can do whatever you want with it. One of the things you can do with it is you can make Duo Drive. Duo Drive, grab 2 Ryziel monsters. At that point, none of these lock you. So you could do your Gym Knight stuff, and then you could do your Ryziel stuff at the end, and you end on Detonator plus Cross. On top of IP into SP, on top of a Balaku and a Hollow Core negate. Like, it's like, there's no winning there. And the Ryziel cards are so good, you definitely could make Gym Knight Pearl.
Fully are a train of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the one with a lot more Ryziel names. You can also get away with only playing 2 Ryziel names. You can play X Sword. Even if the ban list is unkind to Ryziel, which I would absolutely love, and let's say they ban X, which I'm a big fan of, you can replace it with Ice, and not much really changes there. It's very similar for either or. X and Sword are very, X and Ice are pretty interchangeable in the context of this deck. So I'll just show a combo of Ryziel. Did I not? Oh, I might not have. Shoot. Okay, I'll just do it. So here's a cool card. Vingolf's Blessing. I'm playing. So like, this is a version that this is a card that the pure deck's definitely gonna play. It's also a card that the tier deck is going to play. I have a friend who's a very avid tier player, and the tier players are going to be playing. Let's see, they're going to be playing this package: 3 Nepi and a Sapphire because it's an Aqua. And they could also play Vingolf's because Vingolf's triggers if it hits the graveyard at all. So tier will also probably be playing Nepera. This card's that good. So Vingolf's, on activation, you send Neperim. It's 3 extra Foolishes. You can also pop Vingolf's, for example, with... You could do Detonator, you could do a Bow, but most of the time you're going to do Prismora, and that will summon back a Neperim. It can summon one back. So it's a TCG exclusive out of Alliance Insight. It was a common, just a cool card to have access to, and it's another way you can Foolish Neperim. For this variant, I'm definitely maxing out on both of the level 4s. Should be doing that for either version. Maybe I'm only playing 2. Yeah. But, I mean, the main thing is, let's say we normal Armadillo and that gets stopped. We have the Ryziel cards to punish from there. Especially, and then X needs to only have level 4s for it to get its search off. So, getting stopped early with the Ryziel stuff's not bad at all. So I'll just do a combo real quick of the Ryziel version. So same thing as most of the combos. See, like, like sometimes you just be playing pure Ryzeal, which is like, I mean, it's fine, but like, I don't love this version. I think though that pure needs some kind of sub engine because his deck, the pure deck just doesn't do enough. So we'll start with Neppy. Neppy grab Dispersion. Dispersion to grab Armadillo. We'll use Neppy's effect to normal Armadillo. We'll grab Hollow Core. Use Hollow Core's effect, dumping for cost to summon. There's Gym Fusion. I always link away the Gym Knight monsters over the Gym monsters for the same reason of Gyms are not Gym Knights. So you want to leave as many Gym Knights in grave as possible to always have Hollow Core be live as early. So then we're going to go effect on summon. This will search Outer Dispersion. Dispersion is not once per turn, so we can use the effective fusion summon here. We can dump the Quartz and the Neperim, summon out the Seraphonite. So now our plays are protected because Hollow Core is now live. We can use both of these. Neppy will summon herself back by pitching, and then Quartz will add back the other Neppy. We can use Seraphonite's effect to normal summon out the Neppy. And then from here, we can just do Duo Drive. We can do Duo Drive's effect. Duo Drive does not lock you. There. Detach those. This can grab, we can grab Node. I'm going to show the combo as if we were playing the, what's it called? If we were just playing, like, just the two. So for
the field.
Yeah, so you grab the field and you grab Sword. Sword just needs to find a Ryzeal in grave or in field. So first what we can do is we can link these away. I think it's IP first. And then what we can do here is we can go Fusion Effect, Banish to add, and then we can use the effect of Phantom Quartz. We can put back the Quartz. We can put back the Neperim, and we can put back the Armadillo. Keep the Neperim in graveyard. It's a Gym Knight card just to set up your future Hollow Core negates. Continue keeping your future Hollow Core negates live. Plus, keep grabbing back Gym Knight Fusion. So if you use those three into Diamond Dispersion, then what we can do is we can link these two away. You want to always leave a Gym Knight monster on the field, a Fusion monster on the field. You can link those two away into Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix is a Fiend monster that takes any two monsters with different names. So then you can go here into a Bow. You can use a Bow. You can banish and pitch this to summon back the IP. Then this will come back during the end phase. You can special Sword now. Sword can grab X. Can activate Cross. Special summon Sword. X by dumping the Baguska. And then you can make everybody's favorite detonator. Then you can equip. It doesn't really matter what you equip here, but yeah. And then you can grab Gym Knight Fusion back by banishing the Neperim. You can use this to summon out the Aquamarine. So the Fiendsmith deck doesn't get to play Aquamarine, which is one of the coolest reasons to play the Gym Knight stuff, because you can do the IP into SP and it triggers Aquamarine. This obviously leaves one card in the extra deck, so it is very wombo combo. But if you set this up, you just win. Bar Dark Ruler no more, which isn't even seeing play. Then yeah. So, that's the Ryzeal version. Again, not very fun. Nothing fun to talk about. It's just Ryzeal cards. They have synergy because they're level 4s. Oh, really?
Yeah, but no, you can still do Master Dispersion in opponent turn. It's okay.
From the rest deck, except Ring Force. Oh, then you play Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just play Ice
No,
instead.
actually,
Yeah, then you can't use IP into SP. You're right. Okay, 100%. So basically, what you do instead of grabbing X, you grab Ice. So you play one. I have never read a Rizio card that shows. So you can go Ice Rizio instead, because Ice Rizio doesn't lock you, right? Oh, you can't. That locks you too. Poop. Um.
no, it's okay. You can still do everything you said, but you need to make a vow first before summoning the Rysials from Han.
Really? Because
Yeah.
if you use Diamond Dispersion's effect, then you're locked.
You are
monster.
locked too. Yeah, but you normally try to do it in opponent turn. Otherwise, yeah.
Let me read Node.
But you can make everything instead. You just like nitpicking.
Summon this way, you can't summon flag except rank 4s. You do Diamond Dispersion, but you can't Diamond Dispersion into SP. So I don't know if it works. Because they all lock you. So you can't Diamond Dispersion on... Because you want to Diamond Dispersion on your turn, right? Because then you can't... If you do that, then you can't IP into SP on your opponent's turn.
No, you can do everything. I mean, just starting from the dual drive, and then you make the links place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll probably figure it out. Anyway, that's the Rizio variant. I'm sure there's a way you can do it, but again, that shows how little I have messed around with this variant, because I don't find it very fun. Detonator's just so good. Yeah. I guess the other one I can kind of talk about quick.
Yeah, Mitsurugi.
Is Mitsurugi. It's cool.
Yes.
It's fine. It's not bad. It's just I don't like how little non-engine it plays.
Yeah.
I don't like. Oh no, we did Fiendsmith Rizio. Fiendsmith Gym Knight already. I wouldn't put Fiendsmith Rizio and Gym's probably in the same deck, but I'd probably pick two of those. Yeah, this variant's cool because there's two cards that do very similar things. They bridge back into each other, so this variant's cool. I just really don't. I mean, honestly, I'm like I don't really like snakes, like in general. So like, I just don't really like nothing about the Mitsurugi cards speaks to me to play. So I don't like the Mitsurugi cards. This is what I was messing with today. This variant is so cool, and I don't know if it's going to be better than the Fiendsmith variant, because the Fiendsmith cards are just so busted, but I wouldn't be depressed if they, like, banned all the Fiendsmith cards. Like, just for example, they banned all the Fiendsmith cards, and they weren't playable anymore. I would not be, like, upset about it, because this variant is, like, I want to say pretty close in power level. Like, it loses to Droll a lot harder, which is the unfortunate part, but it does some really, really cool stuff. The cons though, I'll go through the cons, of course, too. It plays the same amount of non-engine. The cons is it plays another brick. I'm playing Regulus. Regulus was really cool. I guess I can show the other things that I was messing around with. You can also gamble with Zombie Vampire if you want to, but yeah, I mean, I just found the Sprint and the Crystal Rose still being the best, and that's because this engine makes a fusion monster. And this engine isn't bad going second because Doom Dragon has an effect to put... It's very similar to Fiendsmith. Another con, though, is that you will get low in life. You'll have 3k left because you use both of these. So you'll go down 4k. And then you use Phantom Quartz's effect and you'll go down another grand. So it's not good in the time, but I don't find that this deck's combo takes super long, especially if you're confident. Like if you're confident and understand all the combos. So you really shouldn't be going to time very often. The only thing that could happen is your opponent's reading your cards, which could lead you to going to time. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff where it's like it gets into like more player than like the actual deck. So so the synergy is the fact, and like the necessity of having to combine the engines is the fact that the Gym Knight stuff doesn't end on very great stuff on its own. It needs generics to be able to play. Also, the Gym Knight deck doesn't really have that many extenders either, with that don't require your normal summon. There are definitely some hands, and I guess I could also show that combo. The main way is you open combinations of gym cards. So, for example, Armadillo plus Neparim, if they hand trap you where they probably should on Phantom Quartz, you actually play through it just fine. Yeah, it's the Gym Knight stuff's interesting the way it plays around hand traps, but a lot of the ways Gym Knight gets going is through your normal summon. Nightmare Phoenix is a generic fiend monster that lets you get into a bow. So yeah, gyms are also good going first because they give you a bunch of bodies, but you don't know, like, they give you a bunch of bodies, you just can't really do anything Gym Knight related with them, so you do something generic with them. But you also want more ways to get playing that aren't Gym Knights so that you don't get choked on Neparim. You obviously, Sprin's purpose is to dump Crystal Rose that dumps Neparim, but still, not starting that way means that it gives your opponent more opportunities to hand trap you in different ways. The Millennium package has the advantage also of like all these cards. None of these cards use your normal summon, so you have like a lower count of normal summons. You can even cut a Nepi for another Golem, for example, which I'm considering. Let's see. Yeah, and none of these cards use your normal summon, and none of them are bricks. The Wedge Temple is the worst one, because if you open the Wedge Temple, you need to have a normal summon, but in a lot of these combos, you don't actually need to have a normal summon. The Primite stuff just does nothing. It summons a vanilla from your deck, but like that's not really like, that's not full combo. Like none of the Primite cards are full combo. Where like Sengenjin or Engraver or a Light Fiend monster, all of those are one card combos that get you to the gym stuff too. So I was messing around with this. At first, what I was doing, these are like the options you can do, but I realized that you can make Sargus super early, and you can protect your Sprint dumping your Rose, where like the Fiendsmith deck can't do that. So that's a huge pro for the Millennium stuff. Is if you start Millennium stuff, they are forced to negate the Millennium stuff, because the Millennium stuff will give you protection when you get to the Gym Knight stuff. Super, super interesting, and I really like the fact that that you have that advantage. Another con though is that the grind game for this deck is next to none. You're throwing your hand on the table and you're hoping it's enough to win you that game. Another pro is the fact that the Millennium stuff has a very wide open extra deck, to the point where you're able to play options like Baguska, like the Aquamarine, where the Fiendsmith variant you are very you literally can't. You literally can't fit the Aquamarine. And the Aquamarine's so cool because it's one of the few things that Gym Knight deck can end on that allows you to have any kind of interaction. And having a fourth fusion monster comes up a lot. So I'm just gonna show the I guess since we're talking about the Mitsu stuff, the Millennium stuff, I'm gonna show the Millennium combo. These I thought these were so cool. I really started messing with it today. So another con with the Millennium stuff is you need a one of the starters plus any monster card. It doesn't have to be normal summonable, plus what's it called? Plus a let's see. Is this wait, did I grab the wrong one? Might have grabbed the wrong one. I don't know which one I clicked. I actually don't want I actually want to do the combo. Let's see, Millennium. Yeah, so like I'm not even gonna be super mad if they hit this stuff. So this is close to what I wanted to show. Let's say we open a starter for once. Even if so, you really what you need is, let's see, is it a card? So if you open it, yes, it's this is a wait that normal summon. This is a 4-card combo, but it really only needs Sengenjin to get going, and this helps. And if you open a normal summon plus a monster card, this is going to be our discard for Neppy later. You actually get to protect your Sprend dumping effect, and you get to protect your place for the rest of the turn. So we can go Sengenjin, we can pay the 2k, we can move up. This will grab us the Golem. We can go Golem place, Golem effect. We'll pay 2 as well, so we're down to 4. This will grab the Temple. We can activate the Temple. Temple will place a monster from our hand, as well as another Sengenjin from our deck. Then we can fusion summon these two into Doom Dragon, which is amazing because it's a fusion monster. We can and keep in mind this is our 3rd summon. We can hard make Sargus, and then Sargus's ignition effect. We can search for a Spriggans or a Therion card. We can add Regulus. Then we can link yeah, we'll link these two away. We can make IP. We have it normal summon. We can summon this first to protect our plays, of course, which will equip the a machine. So now we have a negate set up. Then we can normal summon. We can link these two into Sprend. Sprend can dump the Crystal Rose. We can activate the effect of Crystal Rose, banishing the Doom Dragon. We activate the Crystal Rose. Crystal Rose can dump Neppy. Neppy's effect. Discard for effect. Effect. Add this. Can activate. This will search the Armadillo. We'll use the Neppy's effect. We can normal summon the Armadillo with her effect. This will search us the Hollow Core. Special summon the Hollow Core by dumping the Gem Fusion for cost. We can link these two up. Except for Seraphinite. Seraphinite wasn't reprinted in that set. This. Then let's see. I think you can go to hand. I forgot if I'll link for oh yeah. I think I can do this. I don't remember if you need the extra body. We use Neppy's effect to come back. Where's the other Hollow Core? So Hollow Core and where's Quartz? Quartz to summon out the Figure's Diamond, and then Quartz will add back the Neppy. We can banish the Quartz to add back. We can activate fusing these two into Prismora to clear the Sprend. Oh, nope. Leave this. Fuse the Neppy in hand. Then we can go link these two away for Nightmare Phoenix. Let's see. I think I messed something up. We use this Well, first we'll grab Fusion back. Let's see. We'll banish Prismora. Nitpicking here, but I'm always going to shuffle Prismora back. And then this to keep a gem here. Summon here. We can link into Bow. Now we have, let's see, to Grave. We can banish, use a Bow, summon back. Let's see. And then we have effect of this, summon. Always leave a space left. We can banish Neppy to add back Fusion. Then we can go end phase, a Bow comes back. So, like, it's very similar to the Fiendsmith stuff, but you set up a Regulus negate extremely early, which lets you, like, protect, like, all of your plays. And it's also really cool because it gives the deck an extra thing to do, because you can make Spriggan's Merrymaker and make Sargus that way, which can also get you to Regulus if you start with a gym card. So, for example, like, it works both ways to get to Regulus, which I think is really, really cool. Very similar to the Fiendsmith stuff, where either way you get to the negate, like you get to Desiree. Grab here. This is why it's like, I guess what we'd probably do is we'd probably grab Neppy. And it's fine to draw it here, because that's why I like Nib so much in this deck. I like Valor a lot too, because just having those extra lights in your deck is so helpful. You can summon Seraphonite. This will summon this back by pitching. This will grab a Gem Knight card. I don't want to overcomplicate it though. I'm gonna just show the normal 1-card combo, but I think it's easier to. You can also just hard fuse. That's why, like, I like playing light hand traps, because you'll do that a lot when you open Gem Knight Fusion, and honestly, it feels bad to go -3, but like your plays are protected extremely early. Let's just grab Armadillo plus any discard. So, for example, we'll normal Armadillo, grab the Holocore, special the Holocore. Like, one of the things that, like, I think is so cool about one-tricking this deck is the fact that you have so many options. So, like, I'm going to start out next week by playing Fiendsmith, most likely. Then when I get bored of Fiendsmith, I can play the Millennium. When I get bored of Millennium, I can play the Ryziel. And, like, you're still playing Gem Knight, but you're playing different flavors of Gem Knight, which just means it has a lot of, like, replayability that a lot of decks don't have, which I think is really cool. Special. Where'd my Neppy go? Am I tripping? Oh, yeah. I'm dumb. When you start Armadillo, you dump Holocore plus Neppy. Yep. And if you set up 2 Holocores, players are not a Bestial. Then you pitch this off of Neppy. Neppy's effect searches a spell. Activate spell. Spell searches Armadillo. And then you use Neppy's effect to normal Armadillo. Armadillo grabs Quartz or Neppy. You can normal with Seraphonite's effect. So now we're at that thing I was talking about earlier, where, like, the world's your oyster now. You have all this, and you can do whatever you want with it. So then what you can do in this one is you can summon the Merrymaker, Sargus's effect, grab Regulus. You can link these 2 away. I think it's IP first. Yeah, it's IP first. Then you can special summon Regulus. And you're protected now. You can use Fusion, Banish to add to hand. You can use the Phantom Quartz, put this back, put back the double Dillos, do summon out the Diamond Dispersion, and then you can link these two up into Nightmare Phoenix, link these two into a Bow, effect, you can banish and pitch the free card, summon back IP, then you can banish the Neppy again to add Gemini Fusion back for next turn. You can do this, summon out Aquamarine here and here. And then, so you have, it's basically the same end board, and it's very similar to Fiendsmith, except the fact that you don't have that extra grind game where the Fiendsmith cards give, like the infinite resources that the cards give you, but you're doing the trade-off of having an early negate. So if you're able to clean the game up really, like if you're able to win the first turn, it doesn't matter that the Fiendsmith cards give you that longevity, and you get an extra disruption with being able to play, because you don't have as tight of an extra deck, because you get an extra bounce with Aquamarine into SP. You do this. So there's definitely reasons to to play either or. You also haven't gone through the Millennium stuff yet, so if you don't lose too many life points, what you can do is, let's say we do get into sort of a grind game. We banish here. We banish here. They clear our board. We have to use... Regulus is going to be the last thing you use. Then what we have is we have these two coming back. And then we have... we'll draw a card. And then we have a Bow effect, which lets us dig into our deck enough to where we find a... Millennium card, and then we can have a small push with the Millennium monster. So we at least, and then we use this. So these two cards coming back can also be your grind game, which obviously you have in the Fiendsmith version as well. But and then obviously you have Master Diamond, who can come back if they kill one of these by battle. Just depends on how your board gets broken there. That's kind of how the grind game would work with this deck, but I think it's a really cool version. I think the Fiendsmith cards are probably better, but I haven't seen many people really explore what you can do with this with the Millennium stuff. You can also make Zombie Vampire, which I think they do in Master Duel. I don't play Master Duel, so I'm not sure, but you can make Zombie Vampire, and you could try to hit Neppy. You could play... I'm playing 3 Neppy, so you can hit Neppy. You can play Photon Lord, which the advantage of playing Photon Lord is the fact that if you do have to negate on your turn, you also have another interruption on your opponent's turn. But the thing about it, though, is that it doesn't protect your Sprend or any of your plays from Imperm or Impulse, while because it's when your opponent activates a monster effect negate, where Regulus negates anything. So you have Regulus can negate Impulse, Imperm, etc. So you have the advantage of Regulus being able to stop extra cards like that. Yeah, I mean I think it's pretty cool, and I think it has this variant has definitely some merit to it. Less normal summons in the deck, same amount of pushes, less grind game. Yeah, exactly. The Regulus is it's the same thing. It has a Nibiru. It also checks for Nibiru, and if you start with the Gymnite stuff, then that checks for Nibiru as well, because they have to they have to stop the Gymnite stuff, because the Gymnite stuff checks Nib. Yes, they can Nibiru the IP. Yep. Yeah, it'd be weird if they did. Right. Maybe they have to. And that's why I was considering trying to fit Fiendsmith cards in this deck as well. but it's really difficult. Like it's difficult. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I think this variant's really cool. Also, if you start with like the Millennium cards can also very much like Engraver. If you start like Engraver has the same concept. This is exactly what I wanted to show. You normal this gets impermed. You can do the this stuff, and you full combo them. So, it's Engraver's the same thing, where if you normal summon Armadillo and it gets stopped, which is why Armadillos are best normal summon, Engraver or Tractor punishes, and this deck plays very similar amounts of those good cards, but the Fiendsmith cards just feel like the Fiendsmith cards just do way more on their own, which is why that's why this is just the best variant. They each have their pros and cons. One of the biggest ones is definitely budget. I believe these cards are cheaper by a lot. I don't know if that's true, but I'm pretty sure these cards are cheaper, especially Ultras. They are, for sure, because they're cheaper than Tracked. Yeah, okay. Yep. I didn't know if this got bought out or something, because, like, I know this is cheap. This is cheap. I think this is cheap. And this is a common. This is cheap. And then this is the only thing that can be, like, maybe worth money. So, like, yeah. So, like, you can play this variant, which I think is worse, but I don't think it's that much worse, for way less money than the Fiendsmith variant. And they each have their pros and cons. Yeah, exactly. Regulus is probably like less than $1. I checked this earlier. This is like $1 or $2. Like, this I doubt is worth anything. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I was messing with this variant earlier, and it ends on a very similar board. Ends on like 6 interruptions. You get a bonus one out of Aquamarine, which is why I want to play this variant, because you can't fit Aquamarine in this variant. I just think that being able to end on more Gym Knight stuff is cool, because you are playing a Gym Knight deck, and it is feasible to do that in this without making the deck worse. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of went through everything. If anyone has any questions, I'm down to do questions, combos, requests, or whatever questions people might have.
Actually, you can go to the board when you get Fua or Maxi.
Oh, I could do that. That also reminds me, I want to show this combo too, but I'll do that as well. So this was pretty cool. This is why it's so important to play close to 40 so you open Armadillo, because this card is crazy. So, like, if you open any of the combinations of the what's it called? Brain. Gym Knight cards, you can play through Interruption really easily. Assuming they, on the choke point, they stop what they're supposed to stop, which is Phantom Quartz. So, for example, this gets Imperm Veiler, which is way worse than getting ashed. Some Seraphinite, some and then you go Neppy effect, Dispersion, dump those two for the, yep, put that back. Then you gotta, oh, you do need a normal summon. I'm sorry, you also need to normal summon anything in the game. You can summon Phantom Quartz again, because you put it back with that. Then you can use Phantom Quartz to affect the fusion summon. There. Yep. Moon. Fiendsmith stuff.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, I was also Protosing. So, I guess the card that you draw doesn't, it doesn't have to be a level 4, but if you want a Protos lock, it needs to be. All the Protos combos are on my spreadsheet, so like, I show how to light and dark lock. You just dark lock right now. It's way better. Sometimes with this deck, you have so many bodies that you end up overlinking into something. Like, you could have just made it with like Phantom Quartz and Sequence, for example, but like you make it with everything just to clear your board because this deck just has so many bodies. Like you could do all kind of stuff with it. I think Caesar's also better, but this is just but like you could have done the same thing where you end on everything through getting Imperm or Veilered on there. Same deal. It's really neat what happens because like a lot of decks have like redundancy problems where like you see 2 of a Gem Knight card in it and you don't want to do that, but if you do that in Gem Knight, 2 archetype cards, you can actually play through Interruption at what should be the correct choke point. Oh yeah, Fua, and I don't know about Maxi. I am going to assume Maxi is going to be horrible. So what you can do is you can draw yourself. This is an example of it's not great. You have to play the mini game, but so does every combo deck, right? That's what we settled on. Yeah, that's the thing. I might consider citing Paradise for that reason exactly, because like if you drew like Fua or whatever plus Requiem into like you can go Requiem then you could Fua them, like there definitely could be reasons to play the trap for that exactly. I might cite it because my citing patterns at the moment I do have the luxury of playing a couple extra cards. So I might side the Paradise. I do not think I'm going to main the Paradise. Yeah, because especially for Nats, it looks like Vanquish Soul is probably going to be pretty playable. You could main it, though. I don't know. There's a chance you main... sorry, I got... like, you could main it. Because it's a good discard for Neppy. Like... If your discard's Paradise for Neppy, it means that even if you like, you can get back into Engraver, like you can put an Engraver in graveyard with Paradise even if you summon the Desiree. So maybe definitely considering it right now. This is the main deck that I've settled on, but you could definitely play Paradise. It just always feels weird in combo decks when you want to summon. Yeah, mine's very, 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 very similar. Very similar. I'm playing Bell in my side deck, but yeah, so you can draw yourself, or you have to kind of play the mini game. Unfortunately, like that's why you're playing Call by in the main. You're maxing out on Ash, of course. If they hold Fua. No, because they just chain it to Brilliant. I'm dumb. Yeah, they always just chain it to... they always shoot Fua or whatever to Brilliant. And then Perulia they always do during the draw phase. So yeah. So that doesn't beat it. Yeah, it does suck that this deck does lose to the Charmies. But if our combo deck didn't lose to the Charmies, that's when combo decks are like a mega cringe. Yeah, but this deck's definitely not super... But like, that's how you beat Fua. Is you win the mini game with Ash, draw, call by. Post side, I'm playing cross out talents. Yeah, this deck is like Omega. This deck's Omega consistent. So like, 41. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is close to a starter because this plus anything is full combo because you go into Fiendsmith stuff. Just another advantage for this deck. 18. %95 chance to open a starter. So, like, super, super consistent. And really, there's nothing you even want to cut. Like, it just happens that your engine requirements are also full combo. I mean, I think Appaloosa is definitely better than a bow, of course, but, like, a bow is, like, almost made for this deck. It's crazy how much synergy it has. A combo for time. This deck doesn't win in time. Like, what you could do, and what I'm considering playing, is I'm considering playing Scattershot, and you just don't use, yeah, I guess I could show that then. It's not very fun, but, you could also play Cowboy, but I find Scattershot's just easier to make. So, because we're already playing Sprint, so... So, yes, Gym Knights do have burn effects, but you can't get to them very easy. They did a good job of making sure you can't get to it. So Neppy, her drawback is that burn damage is, during the main phase is halved. Dispersion, its drawback is effect damage during the main phase is halved. So they make it so you can't. You can, but it's really, really bad to, like, FTK. Also, they also decided to make it, which I think is a great decision. You can't access Lapis Lazuli very easily. This is how the deck would burn. The FTK deck, what it would do is, well, at first it would summon multiple Master Diamonds. Then they put it to 1. So what you would do is you would unicorn back your Master Diamond, then you'd summon again. It was cringe, but it was a really cool deck. I really liked the 2019 FTK deck because it wasn't like Omega. Like, it was good, but it was like very fragile. But they make it that you can't actually get to Lapis Lazuli very easily because she's a rock fusion monster. This, who also takes Gym Knight Lapis, so we'd have to play this as our normal monster. The Master Diamond Dispersion cheats out non-rock gem monsters, and the monster that cheats out that cheats out another one, Lady Brilliant Diamond, is also a rock monster. So they did a good job at designing that. But what you could do is you could use Gym Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond to actually cheat out Lapis Lazuli for burn time. But that's 2 extra deck cards. Not worth it. Better to play Scattershot or Cowboy. Scattershot, I find, is the easiest to access because no matter what, you can get to no matter which avenue. If you start with Fiendsmith stuff or Gym Knight stuff, you can always get to Sprint to dump Scattershot to deal 250. Yep. So you have to play a time card. This deck, it actually, I can guarantee a lot of Gym Knight players are probably going to lose in time because they're going to use Phantom Quartz effect, which pays 1,000 life points to fusion summon. And then you can't actually burn more than that because of the restrictions here. You could technically play Scattershot, and you could play No, that's not even enough. Because, yeah, it's half. Yeah, you can't. You literally can't. So you have to not. So I guess I can show. There's not much to show here, but I can show. And even more cringe is that it's actually protected from interruption. if you start with the gym stuff, and like let's say they like, oh yeah, like I know you're playing a time card, I'm just gonna wait to hit the time card, or the way you're gonna get to time, you actually protect your time card. This is gonna add dispersion. I'm just gonna add it. Our whole goal here is to protect our spren, so and then we're gonna do this. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been practicing a lot, and I can get this combo done very quickly. And if my opponent goes to read my cards, I just ask them, like, you can read it, but can I continue? Type of deal. Let's see. This will grab Neppy, and then we'll use Seraphonite, extra normal summon. You can do Moon of the Closed Heaven. Like, you can play for a good bit, too. Yeah, I just ask my opponent generally to play faster. You can also, like, Omega protect yourself from... Like, now you can protect yourself from Nibiru as, like... So, we're protected from Imperm Nib here. Or, like, double Imperm. No, double Imperm. Yeah, Nibiru plus a hand trap here. Because we can make Caesar. And you can link those two away for Spren. Yippee! That's something you can do. You have your Hollow Core negate the entire time you're playing, and you have Caesar set up if you want to. You played for a good bit, and then you can burn with Scattershot. I hope I never have to do that. But I think Scattershot's just the best, because, like, you can make Cowboy as well, but, like, I don't know. I think Scattershot's just the best, because Spren's the most accessible, like, way. It's easier to just, like, splash a bunch of random monsters on the field than it is to get 2 level 4s. So, I think you play Scattershot as a time card in this deck. Because it's very easy to play, because you play Spren in every single variant of Gym Knight, except for, like, Pure. And Rizio, I guess you would also play, you'd probably also play Cowboy instead. But it's the same shit, so. But yeah. That's pretty much all I got. I
feel like the Gemini stuff is pretty much straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward, yeah. Like, what you can actually do with it, all kind of stuff. But, yeah, like, the Gym Knights are pretty straightforward for the most part. I mean, going second, the way you play, I guess, the only thing, like you grab Quartz as early as you can, because Quartz can grab Brilliant Fusion, and Brilliant Fusion is a 1-card OTK, but you don't. Quartz is like your last resort, kind of like in Hero when Fusion Destiny is your last resort. It's very similar to Quartz Effect. Quartz Effect sets Brilliant Fusion, and then because once you set, you're locked into Gym Knights from the extra deck. So, but you do have like a searchable Fusion Destiny off of these, off of this, off of this, off of, like, you can get the Brilliant Fusion, and that's why, like, I like this deck so much, is because, like, it's pretty good going first, but it's also pretty good going second. Like, you have plenty of cards that you can play with. Like, you have all the Fiendsmith stuff, the Gym Knight stuff's pretty good in the boards, and you play a lot of non-engines. Like, this deck just isn't bad going second either. Obviously, you want to go first, but... But yeah.
And did you tell us about with the K9 stuff?
Oh, yeah, like the K9 stuff, I haven't messed with it at all. It's a K-9, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. The new cards. Let's see. K-9. They might not have it on here yet. Is that a K9 card? No, I don't know what that is. Oh, but that's the same. No, that's not the same set. What are they? What's the other Draco Tail? Or Dragon Tail?
Oh,
Yeah, they probably just don't have it on here. Oh wait, there's Dragon Tail. What's K9 called in the OCG? Translated. Oh, there they are. You can play. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, really, what you probably do is, like, Imperm kind of sucks. Nibiru kind of sucks. You can just play this package if you want. The problem with this package in this deck specifically is the same problem is where am I going to fit Nash Knight?
Yeah.
Like, you can't fit Nash Knight in this deck. So, it's almost like it's hard to play the K9 cards in this deck when you play the Fiendsmith stuff. It just depends, like, yeah, I mean, maybe it's better than ending on IP and you just and on straight SP. Maybe it is, but probably not. Everything in here is absolutely necessary. You can't cut anything, so it'd probably have to be more like in this deck, you know, like if you wanted to play the K9 stuff where you have the room to play like the Nash Knight instead of like Baguska or something. So another win for Millennium. I still think that the Fiendsmith card is just so good, but Millennium is good as well. I think they both have merit. Well, yeah, exactly. So, like, I don't know what any of the Justice Hunters cards do, because it's not legal for Nats. So, I haven't cared at all. I have only been looking at the format that we're going to be playing, which is different than what Europe's going to be playing, because they're not getting the cards. It's going to be post battles, post duad, while EU is going to be playing only post-Duod, which is really weird that we're going to be playing completely different. Like, I say completely different. Realistically, Gym Knight and Orcust are going to be probably rogue to tier 3 decks. So, I don't think they're going to have a giant splash on the metagame or anything, unfortunately. It's not like Vanquish Soul is probably going to be the only, and maybe Lunalight are going to be the decks from Duod that are going to have an impact on the meta. Lunalight seems to be that rogue deck that if you don't side for it or you don't prepare for it, it can definitely steal some wins, and it will probably top this event because it's really hard to out it. The Morganite deck seems okay. I mean, it seems not bad. There's no Max C over here, so like that deck loses a big advantage that it has in the reason why it makes a few tops, but the stun deck's fine. It's still stun. Everyone's playing double storm duster, but it is not a bad meta call because it loses to Fua, Droll, Nibiru, a lot of non-engine cards, Impulse aren't really that great against the stun deck, so it could be a good meta call. It could definitely steal some tops too. There's a few things in Duod, but overall it's like a pretty it's not like it's the deck building pack, which the way they've been doing releases is really interesting. Like, it seems like at the beginning of a year we get a deck building pack that ends up shaping our rest of the year. Like, it's the deck building pack decks, and anything that like can maybe kind of compete with those deck build, like our metas have been completely revolved around whatever deck building pack it is. So I think it's kind of interesting. So like Justice Hunters will probably be our 3 decks, and we will probably have those 3 decks for like the year. We had the same thing with crossover breakers. Sorry, the third archetype, but it's been Malice Rizio show the entire year. So it'll probably be the same for Justice Hunters. They kind of give us this deck building pack, and then they give us a year to play with it, and they give us a new one that's like really good. Because we got this one in like December. We're getting the next one in August. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the stun deck's gonna be that great. It's gonna be fine.
I do feel like Yami's Sky Striker will take over the meta.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be one of those decks. I think Vanquish Soul.
Yeah, too.
I think
Even
Vanquish.
Crystron.
Yeah, all those decks are really good. Like the Justice Hunters. The reason why Fiendsmith might not get hit, to keep it kind of related to Gym Knight, is that like the like Yummy will probably play the Fiendsmith stuff, but other than that, there's no decks right now that are playing the Fiendsmith stuff. Like Mitsu sometimes does, Vako's Soul might, but like other than that, it's there's really not many decks that are going to be playing the Fiendsmith stuff in this upcoming meta game, so that can keep it from getting hit.
We'll
But
see if they touch Mitsurugi.
yeah, I hope so. Probably not to the end of the year though, because OCG doesn't have it.
Yeah, until September, I think.
Yeah, they get they get like a pack at the end of the year that pushes everything.
Okay, I think I mean, you talk everything about Gem Knight stuff. So
I mean, yeah.
yeah,
People will have questions. I mean, I feel like I hit pretty much everything.
yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out and learning about the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blake. Yeah.
Thank y'all.